forgot I care. So yeah, so first of all, major apologies for last week. I really thought that I had a good spot mapped out to be able to Zoom on the cruise, and I purposely did not have anybody take that spot because I wanted to share with you guys from the cruise ship and show you how cool it was and talk about it. But anyways, thank you for the grace. Thank you to Jana for helping me and covering me and having my back when, life happens and service doesn't allow for those things. So really appreciate that. But today I'm really excited about some stuff because the great thing about going on these trips with Zingular and being on these incentive trips, a big part of why I love doing these and I love being with our company is because we get time to spend together, to brainstorm, to connect, to talk to like-minded people that maybe we wouldn't get the normal time to spend with, right? And I do want to give a big, huge shout out to Shy Waters. Shy did not spend any time with her regular people on the cruise, even though she's super close friends with us. She got out of her comfort zone and she hung out with people that she didn't know very well. And I love that about Shy because if you know Shy, her name embodies her. She's very shy and she doesn't like to get out of her comfort zone. She doesn't really like to talk to people, but she did. And she said she had a great time and she made some amazing new friends. And so really, really proud of her for that. We had some amazing work sessions on the boat where we got together, we brainstormed, we worked with our direct upline, Jana Dyer, and we just came away feeling so full, so excited, so motivated, and so full of life and so excited to build and really, really recapture the vision long term, right? Because when you're home, the day-to-day grind, sometimes it gets a little mundane, it gets a little crazy, right? Life gets in the way, and you look at your life and you look at what you're doing and you think, maybe I'm not significant. Maybe I'm not that big of a deal. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, right? You get to questioning yourself. And that's why it's so important for you to plug in, go on these trips, and go to conference because it relights that fire in your soul, right? Because I know for myself, this is more than a career. This is a calling on my life that I know God has planted me here for a reason. And I knew when he put me here that he would surround me with like-minded people that had the same vision, right? Was it going to be easy? No, it's not easy, but it's doable. And together we can do amazing things, you guys. So I'm coming in to my 9th year in Zingular. So I've been with this company almost a whole entire decade. And that seems crazy because I'm in my 30s. So a decade of my life is a really long time for me that this has been such a huge, significant portion of my life, right? And so this morning, I really wanted to talk to you guys about what I've been doing and what I've been teaching and working with my direct lines on helping them find and build their friends list. Because when you've been with this company for as long as I have, you do have to be purposeful, okay, and specific on adding people to your network. Now, I don't do all my building on social media, but I do a lot of it. And I start it because social media is a great way to connect. Okay. And if you've ever heard Melissa Corvin's story about going to Walmart and prospecting people on the feminine hygiene aisle, it just ain't for me. It just ain't for me. Anyways, so, and what I've often found too is that when people start up in a Zingular business, they don't have a lot of friends. You might come into this with 1,000 friends on your Facebook. You might come into it with 500 friends, right? I know when Lisa Hampton joined, I think she had 600 friends on her social media, right? It's a significant amount, but you need to keep building and adding to that. So this conversation today that we're going to have is actually going to be in 2 parts, okay? Because we're going to do something today, and then next week I need you to come back because next week is when I'm actually going to give you the key to the treasure chest for you to unlock it to really expand upon this. So this is a 2-part social media training today, okay? But it's very impactful and it is really simple and it works. It's what I've been doing for the last year and it's made a huge difference in my prospecting and my sponsoring and bringing on business builders, okay? So a couple things. You're looking at your social media, you're building in your warm and your hot market, right? And it's going good. But the one thing you can't do is continually add people to your warm market. Okay. Now, if you're a new builder, like I see some newer people on here, I see April, I see Shanda, right? I see some newer faces on here, some people that have been doing this not super long. I see Jana Dunn. I know she's newer. You guys are still in your warm and your hot market. You haven't gone through your whole entire friends list, right? You still have people on there that are raising their hands, asking questions. That's fantastic. That's great. But just know that there's going to come a season where you're going to have to start adding people to that to keep it hot and relevant, right? And this is something that you guys can start working on right now. And it goes along really well with the ATM and the 222 and everything that we've been working on as a team, right? So you start looking at it and you're like, I need to get some more friends in my funnel. I need to get some more prospects, right? And I know for me, like, I had a lot of people in my network that wanted to lose weight, which is great because you can turn weight loss people into business builders, right? But I found myself becoming very heavy on the weight loss coaching and not necessarily recruiting for the business. And I wanted to turn that around. Okay. So I started getting very specific about where I went and hunted for new friends. Okay. Two things. Number one, do you have influential friends on Facebook that are not in singular? Yes, you do. You have influential friends on Facebook that are not in singular. You can go to their friends list and you can look through there and you can find people through there. Okay. Now, I recommend that you hide your friends list so that people don't do that to you. But this is something that in network marketing as a whole, people have taught and trained. Okay. So that's one way you can do it. Another way I like to do it though, I like to go out and I like to be specific and join groups of people that have interests in common with me. Now, with that said, you're going to want to make sure that you join groups of people that are thinking like we're thinking. Okay, so I've had a lot of people that have joined like groups for specific dog breeds. Okay, I've done the dog breeds thing too. I found a lot of weirdos in the dog breed groups, right, Mom? We found a lot of weirdos in the Cavalier groups. Like, I'm not prospecting those people. They're a little crazy. They're a little insane about their dogs. They really don't want money. They really just want to talk about their bougie dogs all day. It's great. I love my dogs, but I want to make money on social. So I started getting a little bit more specific. I'm really a nerd about budgeting. I love budgeting. Okay. It makes me feel excited. I'm a nerd about monetizing social media in general, not just network marketing. Okay. So those are places where I've gone and I found commonalities with people in groups. I just searched those out, budgeting groups on social media. Right. I like high-end fashion, like the reuse it, resell it groups on social media. I like to search in those groups. I like to buy really nice used designer stuff. Why? Because I like to budget, right? So I like to buy it used. I don't want to pay for it brand new. I'll use it after somebody else has used it and knock the new sticker off of it, right? So those are some places just that I know for me that I like to go and network in those groups. Number one, if you're in those groups, you're probably thinking along those lines. So let's talk about group number one. If you're looking at budgeting groups, right? There's a ton of people on social media that are talking about budgeting, especially right now in this world economics. Well, if people are talking about budgeting, what is something they might be interested in? Adding more income to their monthly budget, right? To help them pay off their bills quicker, right? Okay. Great place to meet people. Now, I'm specific. I don't add every Tom, Dick, and Harry in there. I will do a post, ask an interactive question, and then see who comments and then go to their profile. Okay. Takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. And then also the monetizing social media groups. That's an easy one to go in there and like hunt in. Easy because everybody in there is wanting to monetize social media. I found all kinds of people. I found online chiropractors who are wanting to do it. I found online travel agents that are wanting to do it. I found a lot of people in those groups who are wanting to monetize social media. Okay. I've added them. Now, and then the reuse it groups, right? Those bougie groups where they're selling their used designer stuff. Those girls love to spend money, so they're always looking for money, right? So be specific when you're adding yourself to groups, okay? Don't just join any weirdo group just because you might have something in common with it. I've got lots of weird niches. Doesn't mean I'm going to try to record those people, okay? Dog groups didn't work for me, so I just maybe not for you either. So after I go into groups, I set a goal. I write down the names of the groups because you will forget which ones you're in. You'll forget it. Write them down, okay? Read the rules because sometimes you got to be a little bit of an undercover sleuth. Set a goal to add 5 to 10 people a week from those groups. 5 to 10, 10 to 15. Okay. because this is where you're going to start building a new niche and a new network of friends. Okay. But it's not enough to just add those people. You got to make sure that they're accepting the invite. Okay. And this is what me and Ashley have actually learned together. So I'm going to have Ashley share really quickly because this is really important detail of you want to make sure that when you're adding them, they're accepting. And there's actually a place on your Facebook, Ashley discovered this for me, where you can go see if they're pending. So Ashley, really quickly, will you screen share and show us that so people can see it?
Yes.
So awesome.
Can you see this right here?
Yep, that's great.
Okay. So you're going to go to your friends. I always do this on a laptop. I'm not sure if you can do it on your phone. And then you'll go over to your friends request right here. And let me move this. And then right here where it says view sent requests, you can click on that. And this is all of your outgoing requests. And that's pretty much it. Crystal, you're muted.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so the reason I wanted Ashley to show you guys this is because one thing, if you have too many pending Facebook requests for friends, Facebook will stop you from being able to send more. Okay, so, and you can see I need to go through and clean mine out. I haven't done that for a hot minute. I need to probably go through and cancel all those requests. Okay, because you want to add people, but if they don't accept your friend request in like 2 to 3 days, cancel it and find somebody else. They're not your people. Okay, cancel it and re-add. That's why I say work between 5 to 15 a week, because this doesn't need to take up a lot of your time. Okay, this is part of your reaching out and you're adding to your warm market, but you don't need to spend a ton of time doing this. Okay, this should take you about 15 minutes a day to do it. But if you add this to it, you will build your network and it will start making a difference. Okay, so your assignment this week is to go find 2 to 3 groups. I do not want you adding yourself to more than 2 or 3 groups to network in, because it's not worth your time. But go find 2 or 3 high level groups where you can find people that would have an interest in making money. Okay, now I just gave you some scenarios. You can steal mine. There's plenty of those groups out there. Okay, read the rules, make sure you're being purposeful. Like, don't just go in there and get kicked out of the groups, right? But start adding people to your funnel. So you need to be adding between 10 to 15 this week. Send some friend requests. Okay, you need to get at least 5 to accept it. Okay, and after they accept it, I want you to make a list. This is crucial because next week I'm going to teach you how to start a conversation with these people. It's not hard. It's not hard. And people want to conversate. That's why they're on social media. Okay, they want to talk to you. Everybody's everybody's got an agenda on social media, whether it's popularity, something, but they're on there for a purpose, and connection is the purpose, right? So we have to think smarter. So I want you to add these people that accept you, make a list, and you title that list New Friends on Facebook. Okay, so your goal this week is to get into the groups, friend 10 to 15 people, get 5 of them to accept. Okay, don't do anything else. It's okay if they accept it and you don't send them a message for a couple days. Then next week, you need to be back on here for part 2, because next week, I'm going to teach you how to reach out to them with intentionality and with purpose so that they respond to you. Okay, they're going to feel important. They're going to feel seen. And at the end of this little message flow that I've created that works well for me, you're going to get them added to your group. Okay, whether it's your weight loss group or whether it's your business group, you're going to get them added. Okay, and you're also going to have some very valuable information about them. Okay, so this is important. Simple. Don't let it take up a lot of your time. Okay, so who wants to jump on here and unmute themselves and repeat to me what you're going to do this week and so you can be ready for next week? Who wants to jump on and repeat it? Not everybody at once. Somebody unmute. Who's brave? Who's feeling brave this morning?
I will.
Okay,
Okay, so
go, Phaedra.
I'm going to go search some groups and I'm going to join 2 to 3 high quality groups. I am going to make an interactive post. Those who comment, I'm going to go look at their profiles and pick out a few to send requests to. I'm going to send friend requests to 10 to 15 people and make sure I get at least five of those to accept, and make a list and come back next Monday.
Good job. Yes, good job. Yes. And you're going to cancel the ones that don't accept you by the end of the week so that you don't get too many pending requests. Good job. Okay, really quickly, does anybody have any questions about this? Thoughts?
Crystal, I have a quick question.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
kind of engagement posts do you do? Can you give us an example?
Oh yeah, I mean, it just depends on what it is, but like I like if I'm in a reuse it group, like a resale group, I'll ask people, I'm like, I'm just curious, what's the best deal you've ever gotten in here? You know, or if I'm in a budgeting group, I'll go in there and I will like say, oh gosh, I've asked people like, what's your favorite, like, and sometimes people get a little crazy about this one, but like I've asked like, what's your favorite credit card, like with benefits and rewards? Some of those budgeting groups don't like credit cards, so they attack you, but I like credit cards because I like getting the rewards and I pay them off each month. It's like getting double money. Or you can even ask like, hey friends in the budgeting group, how soon do you start teaching your kids about budgeting? You know, I'm just curious. Or you can ask anything. Be a human, right? Just get the interaction, right? Because then you can start, because the reason that you want to ask the questions is so they see you and then you can send them a friend request. Because if you just go in there and start friend requesting those people, they're going to be like, who in the heck is Crystal Nichols? But if they're responding to your post, they're going to connect that you're talking. Does that make sense? And then you'll find commonalities with them because it's conversational. But you can go through there and read it. I mean, and you could even like you can Google these things, like questions to ask about creating a budget or whatever. I mean, you know, just anything. And if you ask a question and it doesn't work, delete it and do a new one. You know, that's what I do. Like the reason I've gotten good at social media is because 80% of what I've done has sucked. And I delete it and I do something else. Like I just keep trying and trying. Like I literally live by the slogan fail forward and plan to pivot. Like John hates it. Pivoting is like his most hated thing in his life because he's never had to deal with it. But I got 3 girls. Plan to pivot and fail forward, right? That's how I live my life. But it's because I learned from when I sucked the worst. You know what I mean? So just embrace the suck and roll with it. And when it works, just embrace it. Okay. Great question. Anybody else have a question before we jump off? Anybody else? No one else? Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to pray over you guys and I'm going to let you go. And I'm excited. So don't miss next week because part 2 is going to be really good. I'm going to give you my personal chat that I've created. Like this is kind of my baby. And I've wanted to really, and I've given it to some people, but this is, it's really good and it works really, really well. Okay. So dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for everything. We thank you for letting everybody get home safely from the Mediterranean cruise. I just pray a hedge of protection around families, around marriages, around kids. I pray protection around anyone traveling today. And I just pray that you just give this team insight and wisdom today to go be amazing and shine your light. And God, I just pray that you just put people on our hearts. You put wisdom in our soul and that you just help us connect with who we're supposed to connect to, Lord. And we just thank you for provision. We thank you for grace. We thank you for a community that we can come together and honor and serve you. And also that we can take really great care of our family. We thank you for provision. And God, we just pray for those unspoken prayer requests today that for the hurting, for people that are struggling with sickness, just any of them, you know who they are, God. We just pray that you just give them an extra measure of grace and an extra measure of just peace today. Lord, we just love you. We love you so much, God. You are so faithful to us. And we just praise your name. Amen. Okay, guys.